12 would just be on Sunday of that first weekend. Everybody else has a 2-day event. February 7th and 8th is the weekend before President's Day, so another warm-up before teams travel for President's Day. And that would again be all age groups and divisions. 12 would just be on Sunday. March 28th and 29th is our final weekend, and it's after champs. That's just for select and regional teams because they play 6 days. And that's both Saturday, Sunday, and 12s would be both days on March 28th and 29th. Dale Rody kicks off our first weekend in the Baird Center, February 21st and 22nd. That's the boys' event. Badger Junior Girls Qualifier, February 28th and March 1st. Most of you know that we have a little bit of change with the qualifier. There is no more, what was the division called? Yeah. So we'll see how that affects the Badger Junior Girls Qualifier, but you actually have to qualify. But we should have more bids than we had in the past. We haven't been told exactly how many bids they'll get into. Badger Junior Champs, we expanded the Baird Center so we could go to 2 weekends, and we outgrew that space first year.
Last year.
So instead of being at a weekend with a rough day, we're gonna go March 7th and 8th in Madison. 14 open club, 16 open club that first weekend. We'll still have the Badger and Wisconsin and the lower divisions the third weekend, March 22nd and 23rd for 14s and 16s, but just the upper level teams March 7th and 8th in Madison on those 18 to 20 courts. Then we're in the Baird Center March 14th and 15th, March 22nd and 23rd here, and it's all divisions other than the 14s, 16s. Question?
Yeah, I'm assuming the last one is the 21st and 22nd.
Oh, let's go with that.
I told you I was gonna get a typo of these wrong this morning.
Whatever Saturday and Sunday, we're not playing any Friday, Saturday, or
Sunday, Monday.
You're fired.
All right.
Yes. That's basically right.
Anything else?
If you run it, if you, maybe you saw last year, a couple divisions had a USA division, that was birthed out of, birthed out of the fact that the number of teams that register in Badger and Wisconsin at 14s, 15s, and I think 13s is so many that that's why USA was created. I think that's like the highest of the amount of divisions, USA carrier.
I'll just talk to that real quick. So, in the past, we had our Badger division with like 75% of our teams and a few of the ones. So now what your choices are is open club, Badger, Wisconsin. You register for what you want those. Then once we get to about February, we seed your teams, we do an initial seed, and we put you in the divisions that you'll be most competitive. So let's say after your first three events, you've had an amazing season, you've won a bunch of tournaments, you could be, if you register for open club, you might be in the open, or you might be in the club depending on how your results have been. So we make that more competitive. And then the same thing, we get to that lower division, could be 2, could be 3 divisions, but we kind of see those as well to make sure and we've had positive feedback from club directors that like that a lot better. When you sign up for a tournament October 1st, how good's your team gonna be? We're like, most of us in here have no idea. They may look good in that tryout date or whatever, but you haven't had it in the gym yet. So we take that time to wait a couple months and see where we get you, and then try to put you in a division that'll be competitive. Stops also a little bit of sandbagging for people that, wanna make sure that they kill everybody by 15 points. Tries to get them in a division that they're gonna have to compete and play well to win. 'Cause that's what really what we wanna do as a coach or as a club director. We wanna have a chance to win if we play well, and that's what our goal kind of is when we see teams in. So that's why it looks like that. You just sign up for the Badger Wisconsin division. You don't worry about it until February. Then I go through with our committee, we go through all the results that you had, go through all the different types of rankings we can put you in, and we decide where you're gonna be in and ask you for feedback. And there usually is half a dozen to a dozen people that give me some feedback that wanna say, we need to be higher or lower in the division. I look at it again, sometimes move you up and down, try to make you happy as far as that too, but we've had pretty good success with getting teams in the right divisions and having great competition. I'll give it that way.
We're gonna pause here to answer a few questions that came in, and so, back to age waivers. So, if you could, communicate to your parents and your coaches that if an opponent has a boy on the team, or maybe even someone who looks like a boy, that's none of your business, okay? We wanna give the tournament directors
question was, what is the highest level? And that is elite. They get 2 days of, 2 weekends of competition, followed by select, correct?
Yep.
Followed by regional. And the way I always train my brain to remember that is regionally, they're pretty much only playing regional events. Select, they travel more Midwest, so,
Unfortunately, AES puts it alphabetical, so a lot of people get confused and think regional is higher than select, because they see it in AES as elite, regional, select, so, I'll try to put up less stuff they send out, elite, then select, then regional.
yeah, we're gonna rescind FVP's regional championship from that year. Because they registered too low, right?
Ooh, I was one of the same there.
The question came in, can we please, ask Sports Engine website customers, will clubs who have Sports Engine website be able to port over to something else? That was a question we asked, because there are several regions who are also on Sports Engine for websites. And so that information is forthcoming, and I even said, is there gonna be a USA Volleyball website platform? That was not well received, so probably not. But that information, including the discounted pricing, that our clubs were able to have, that question is into USA Volleyball.
Alright, moving on to some national events, and I apologize, it's not as probably visual for, especially video viewers. We got, obviously, we want you guys to try to support the national events. The dates have been out there for a little bit, it's always on page 2 or 3 of the Badger Beacon newsletter too. When it comes to the girls' 18 junior national championships in Reno this year. They now have a girls' 10s division, which is something new. So that would be part of the 10s through 13s experience in Minneapolis. The big one, the 14s through 17s, is in Indianapolis this year. So when we see, and I'm just gonna offer this as a reminder now, when 10s through 13s are Minneapolis and 14s through 17s are Indianapolis, and these are drivable for Badger Region, we see a large uptick in our qualifier numbers. That doesn't mean show up to the qualifier with your 17 sixes team thinking that they're deserving of bids. Like, we really do want to continue to emphasize Badger Region qualifiers for teams who really have the intention of playing at one of these bid events. That's just, that friendly reminder, because I don't want you to spend $280, $295, what's the cost of the qualifier, Kelly? $300?
275.
$275 on one match, because there are, based on numbers, your team might only get one match at our qualifier if they're in a play-in match. So, we really just wanna stress that, and we don't want divisions to get too big at the qualifier, because then it becomes very difficult to manage. We have to, play matches out to 8th place, sometimes 12th in some of the divisions where we get a lot of bids. So, I'll get off my soapbox on that one. Boys are late this year, okay? 8th through 11th in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm sure it won't be hot at all. But neither is Orlando, so whatever. And then we are off to Columbus, Ohio for the All-Star Championships this year. Same weekend of the year, the 23rd through 26th. But the big thing there in the lower left corner is the new USA Volleyball Club Championships. Also could be read as USAV, formerly known as the Patriot Division Championships. So this is a non-bid event. Patriot will no longer exist at any of the girls' divisions listed on the right side there. So USA Volleyball is encouraging anybody who thought about maybe doing Patriot to do June 5th through 7th. Now you're gonna say, Sharky, we're still in school. My son's school didn't get out till June 14th, or June 13th, I think. Okay? So yes, we have made it abundantly clear to USAV that this is going to very much put a damper on Badger Region teams participating in this event, unless you're gonna take your kids out of the last day of school or the weekend before the last day of school, something like that. And it's probably state track, yeah. It's always graduations as well. So it is very difficult in Wisconsin. We've made them well aware that this might deter some teams or force teams to go elsewhere, but just wanted to communicate that. And that is a different location. Oh, one thing that we wanted to add about that. If you register for Columbus for the June 5th through 7th event and you end up qualifying, your payment just gets slid over, okay? This will impact you. A lot of teams who would register for Patriot for one of the national championships, once you're in Patriot and get accepted get to pre-register for Patriot in Indianapolis or Minneapolis. So you will have to wait to qualify or a trickle down before you can book hotel. For some of y'all, that might be a long waiting process. So we just want to give that heads up now that the process for registering for these national events has changed and might impact you guys in some way.
And that's also one of the reasons why our qualifier in region is so early, because it used to be the first weekend in May. And we went, well, our clubs don't know, like, if they know what bid they have, and then if they wanna go to a national qualifier to improve that bid, they at least have their hotels, they at least know they're going and can make those travel plans. And so that's why our qualifier is actually one of the earliest in the country, to be able to help clubs figure out what they're doing at the end of the season. USA Volleyball also knows that we all hate boys going that late. We have made that abundantly clear. They had a contract in place for boys, through the 11th of July in Phoenix. So we have been told that in future years that will go over this.
And the question came in is, can you clarify what qualifying means? At USA Volleyball events, at the big one, at championships, there's open. There is, let me scroll.
Open, national, USA,
American, Freedom, Liberty.
That's a lot.
And now there's a new category where they're expanding American or something like that.
An American.
We have a pretty chart that we normally, there's a lot. There's a lot.
So you do have to, and in the Badger region, at our level, when you guys come to us, February 28th, March 1st, you're competing for a spot in the American divisions, national divisions, or regional divisions, okay? Obviously, the top teams in our state will get national, right? Normally, if you finish second or third or fourth, you'll get an American bid, fourth, fifth, you'll get freedoms. There are some other things that play into sneaking a USA bid out of our region and some other trickle downs or reallocated bids that are called. But those are what, pretty much finishing top 6, top 7 in the division at our qualifier will get you. If you go to a national qualifier, you go to MEQ, Northern Lights. They are some of the other ones like Show Me that are within reasonable distance. Those are where you're gonna be qualifying for open, the highest of the high, USA and Liberty, as well as American and a couple others, but like sometimes it's 200 teams competing for one American bid at the Windy City qualifier. I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. So yes, that is how the qualification process works. And if you have any questions about it, Scott does an amazing job of managing who has what bid in the region at any given time. So that way, when you guys show up on February 28th, and you wanna know how many bids are already accounted for, who already has bids, we can gladly share.
And bids are determined by our membership numbers. And so if you've been around for a while, you may know, why did we get 2 national bids this year? We only have 1 this year. We don't know bids yet. They'll give them out, mid to end of September. They'll give us the bid allocations. And so it's just based on benchmarks to full membership numbers through USA Law. And so we have, we've actually surpassed 18,000 full members, for the first time ever in Badger Region, which is incredible.
year, and it's a hefty one, is 300. I'm pushing that. I'm hoping, based on the information I have from our socials and just from, All-Star and some recruiting there, we are, right now I'm at 72 new officials that want to get trained, and we haven't even gotten into September yet, so if you have a scrimmage, let me know. So that's what we're talking about with training. I would like to go two different ways with training really quick. One is if you are having a scrimmage, Maynard wins for sending me his dates first, so you got him. But if you have scrimmages, and very common times for scrimmages are first couple weekends in December. However, if you have some in November or January and you want to use those as training opportunities, not just for new officials in your area, but maybe some of your coaches or players 16 and older want to ref and maybe ref some events that are local, please email me the dates if you have them, or start an email chain with me on communicating and how to put one together. It's a great way to employ some of your coaches. It's a great way to get some of your kids 16, 18. We love players. Players make some of the best officials. And if you can ask Jen and Sharky, I'm super protective of my 18 and under kids. So I treat them very, very well and get them started in a very gentle manner so that they're introduced with the hope and when I hope and pray that they will be retained for a following year and they will want to come back. So if you have an opportunity in your area of the state, I can road trip to you to either do some ref training or some training for external professional refs at your scrimmage. We also use BBS, Badger Boy Series. So if you guys, any of you are interested in reffing and you don't have opportunities in your area, you can either come down and train in the Milwaukee area, or like I said, I can try to find some areas or some places around you. My last resort for ref training is ref training at a live tournament. I'll do it, but that's not preferred. If I do it at a live tournament in your area, you're usually with another professional official with another one mentoring. So if you are training, then you're not on your own, you're with someone else. We don't throw you in. So yes, with modules, junior ref modules. You guys know every year your players need to go through junior ref training. You have two opportunities to do it. We can either schedule. I can give you a list of officials that can come to your location to do the junior ref training, or you can do it online. It's preferred to do it online. We have great modules. I think they're even easier to access. I think there's a slide about it. Super easy on your homepage of your Sports Engine account. They will be ready October 1st. I have them now. I don't have them ready now, but I have the list now that I can submit. Once I do some testing with that, they will be live October 1st, and Scott will put that information in your weekly club director meeting or club director email. I apologize. Any questions on that modules? Also, if you would like to do your training or your score training in person, we have Erin Stalker that's here. Everyone say hi to Erin. Hi, Erin. Erin is already has one scheduled. She does do the training in person for a fee that's negotiated between you and Erin, and she's happy depending on her schedule. If you'd like to reach out to Erin, her email is on our website under staff and board and reps, and she and I can help arrange that as well. So if you want to do something that's in person, which sometimes is great for your kids during a scrimmage where you're training refs, we can do it all in one day. Please email Erin or myself and we can help you with that. This is, just want to touch really quick on common issues with refs. And this is where I need club directors' help. And I'm looking at the camera too, and the video. I need every club director to take maybe a minute out of your day to talk to your coaches, then to talk to your parents about, let's do gentle words to our refs. Our biggest problem we have with Sharky, the biggest problem we have with officials is not the training. The training takes a while. The investment that we put into these wonderful people who want to get up on that stand and make judgments right, of teams and coaches and players, do not come back. And 99% of the time it's due to the behavior of a parent, okay? Parents have been rough, and they're rough, they don't care how old the ref is. The ref, I've seen it, I've gotten in altercations and removed parents from this most recent championships, because I have refs as old as 16 getting berated by a 50-something-year-old man, or in the face when they come off the stand. That has to stop. We can't have tournaments without officials, right? And we invest a lot of time. Money, that's not an issue. It's the time and the opportunity for these kids. Some of these kids have been cut from their high school teams, right? And they wanna still participate. Some of these kids just graduate from high school and need to make money to go to college. What's a great way than making 27 to 32 bucks an hour or per match is to become an official and work something in a sport that you love. The worst and the most crushing blow to these kids is now is it when there's doubles, and we'll talk about that later, and other judgment calls, yeah, refs aren't perfect, but my goodness, they know it, right? When they make a mistake, they feel it, especially when they're kids. We had two girls that I had to go stand guard on with Spies at Champs because there were people screaming at her and she's in tears. That's gotta stop. So if you guys and people on the video could just take a moment to talk to your coaches or talk to your parents in your parent meeting about their behavior toward refs, I would truly appreciate it, the region would appreciate it, and those officials who are trying to make money would appreciate it. Okay? Alright, I'm done with that. So that's my biggest issue.
And I will say that we also have a meeting like this for officials.
Yeah.
So if there's any points of emphasis that you as coaches or club directors would like us to make for the officials, please reach out, because we do that. One that I like to make is to the officials is, please do not assume that the male is the head coach, right? And everybody goes, ooh.
Yeah.
And so just things like that from the coaches, we wanna be a conduit and get people on the same page, to be able to help better the sport.
Well, and I'm also teaching officials, when you go and take that lineup sheet, or I know you guys have lineup sheets, but I kind of tell them even if they have one, go over there and make a friend, right? I'm really good at making coaches laugh, especially in high school. I need that sometimes, so when I'm officiating, so I'm trying to get them to take this more of a personal, hey, I'm Sarah, I'll be your R1 today, just to make sure that we're making more of a human-to-human contact, as opposed to someone up on the stand and someone on the bench. So, cool, can we move on? Yeah. Okay, sorry, my computer, I'm looking up there. Oh, hey, let's talk about jerseys. I'm super excited about this. My most important thing, I'd like to say, if you aren't sure if they're legal, give me a call, send me an email, yeah? Before you even design it, let me know. I've already had some where I've been going back and forth saying, nope, black and white tie with a black number doesn't work. And I can tell you right now that even if there are slight issues with the jersey, by the time you get to nationals, if you're qualifying, they're not gonna allow it. A waiver from us will not carry over to a waiver from USA Volleyball. So if you're not sure if it's legal, let me know, email me. These are some of the reminders of some of the identical things or things that we discuss or that we need on a jersey according to USA Volleyball. Also, this cute little dinosaur QR code is our jersey submission form. Okay, it's buried it's on our website as well, but I wanted to make it easy for you guys to get and at least bookmark. So if you're not sure and you have a design, please submit that to me, and it comes directly to me, to our USA liaison, and we can then discuss it. If I'm not sure, I go to Bill Stanley at USA Volleyball, okay? And he will give a yes or no. We're not doing maybes anymore because we had that issue last year and they were proven illegal at nationals. And I apologize because it was such a chaotic mess. So we are doing yeses and nos, and it's not, what we're trying to do is prevent any chaos happening during your national championship, or even during a qualifier in St. Louis. They will call you on it, and that's awkward to get out of the headspace of kids who are getting pumped up for an event, and they have to go and change their jersey and then they're nervous. Okay, so if you're not sure, before you spend the thousands of dollars, please, submit that form or email me and I'm happy to get on a call or a Zoom.
Sarah, see the details. I'm gonna just address something really quick.
Beep.
This QR code,
Beep.
every issue of the Badger Beacon also has this, there's an article as a reminder, so there really should, I'm at the point where we should be granting waivers, because we've been telling you guys this for 5 years. But anyway.
We can't, like, I get that kids love the funky fun. Do me a favor, don't make the numbers multicolors. It's not gonna work. And it's not just me and USA, the officials can't see it's very, and the score table, and Aaron knows about a couple of them where they get very difficult and it's hard to call. Yes, please
Also,
speak on it.
there are some that are legal,
Which
that
would
are
be-
still hard to see the numbers. Just be cognizant of it, I guess. Cause if you're sitting at the table, you need to be able to see the server in the back corner. And if you can't read their number, that's a problem.
And these rules haven't changed, yeah? It's the same 4x6, 6x8, same width of number. And I get we want it to be fun, but then you can make your warm-ups fun, right? Or something like that, and you love sublimated jerseys. But USA Volleyball is a little different than third-party events with what they accept.
One of the things that national office always says too is, please just make one boring.
Yeah.
Like, one
Just in
black with white numbers, or white with black numbers, like, just in case you have something, please make at least one boring.
I ran into a problem a couple years ago, the font, it's the font, we got one that looked like a
The font,
7.
if it's anything that looks like a vampire, don't do it. That's hard. I don't know, you guys know what I'm talking about, the one with the pointy end, and this like vampy, like, it's a lot. And it looks cool, but err on the side of caution before you spend thousands of dollars, right? Cause reordering, apparel's a pain, yeah? I know, I get it. A question, can liberos, be different from each other but contrast? Absolutely, cause they're not on the court at the same time. Liberos can be different jerseys, they don't have to match each other, but they have to be both contrasting from who's on the court. They don't have to match each other.
Officials won't know that.
Yeah,
Just saying.
welcome to my life. That's on our, it's already on our point of emphasis, Libero rules in general are on our point of emphasis. Because now that we're gonna talk about it, but, what some of the rules have changed, it's gonna be a little bit easier, but, yeah, Liberos don't have to match each other, they don't have to be twinsies, right? They just have to contrast the rest of the team. And obviously, they can't both be on at the same time, so there's your explanation. Cool. Hey, guess what? USA Volleyball made their module public view. So if you're not sure about even what I said to you guys about uniforms, you can scan this QR code, which will take you right to the USA module on the USA Volleyball site. And it's maybe like a 10-minute video, which pertains to jerseys, athletic wear underneath, how it has to match. So if boys are wearing leggings that are not compression, right? They all have to be this, like how I did that? It's like if they're wearing leggings like this under their shorts that are not compression, they have to be the same color. If they're compression, they do not, which is a medical grade. And all of that is in that video. We've caught it last year, we didn't say much, we just granted everyone okay, that's fine, be fine before you get to AUs. But any undergarment leggings for boys, and girls too, because girls have to be the same color as well, but boys like to wear undergarment, some of them wear like the whatever the heck, they all have to be the same color. Okay, some can't wear white and some can't wear black, they all have to be the same if they're athletic wear under their shorts.
And there's also information on here for the jerseys that have the sleeves with them, that's becoming a new trend, especially in college. The sleeves have to be considered, basically take the bigger shoulder part out, and it needs to be the same color as the rest of the jersey. So all of that is on the USA Volleyball
It is.
site.
It's all, yeah.
It's just a lot.
And what's cool about the sleeves though, which we got clarification from Patty at USA Volleyball, is not all, if they have those sleeves with, that they can take off, not all of them have to wear them at the same time, okay? So some can wear them, some are like, these are annoying, we don't wanna wear them, that's fine. But they have to be considered a continuation of the jerseys.
Does that include like the padded ones?
No, those are different. Those are kind of like with the, yeah, those are, protective equipment. Those can be white or black or whatever, those aren't part of the jersey.
Okay, so
So
some
the
players
padded
would
ones.
like wear the jersey one and others wear the padded.
Yep,
That's
sure. Oh, here we go. Alright, rule changes, 15 subs, yay. If you don't like it, you don't have to use them, right? If you wanna stick with 12, stick with 12. It's giving more kids the opportunity to play. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Not much more to say. Multiple libros. It's now you can designate 0, 1, or 2 every set. USA was not like that in the past, but now we're becoming, it's the same rule as JVA, as USA, as AAU. You can designate how many liberos you want. It does not continue throughout the match. Double contacts. Yeah, I like my picture better.
We're on.
Oh, sorry.
It's right there.
Wait, go back. Sorry, cause I didn't go on. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about, screening rule. Everyone knows the basic screening rule, yes? We talked about it in the tournament director meeting a little bit, but you have to have the 3 things in order for it to be screening. Well, we added another. Hands cannot be over the player's head until the ball crosses the net into the other side, okay? So none of this, that's above the head. So just basically tell boys and girls, hands gotta be below the head, the top of the head, until the ball crosses the net on a serve. Now, we are making a recommendation, in the officials meeting that we are gonna give a warning. If we see a lot of this, even if they're 12-year-old girls, they still can't stand like this. Okay, they have to stand like this, or like this, right? We will give a recommendation to give it a warning first, much like how we've handled screening in the past without the hands. However, if it's continued and deliberate, we will, assess cards for that. Okay, double contacts. Okay, everyone know what a double is? Well, they're gone now. Contact. Second contact, if it remains on the same side and your teammate touches it for third contact and it is a double, we will not be calling it. If it goes over the net and is a scoreable ball on second or third contact and it is a double, an official can call it. Okay? Any questions on that? Pretty simple. What we recommend or we ask is for club directors, please communicate this to your coaches who then communicate it to your parents. Because I still think parents, I believe it's the other way. Once college got rid of doubles, I think more parents were mad that we were calling doubles. Does that make sense? Cause I don't think they understood that it didn't carry over yet. Now that we are now in alignment with them, and we do not call doubles if the ball remains on the same side, I'm hoping that there won't be any more people screaming double, right? And however, judgment does come into play if it's a scoreable ball and there is a double contact on that, the official can call it if it is a scoreable ball and it goes across the net.
A person who's also popping it up and then hitting it a second time,
Mhm.
probably that is still a double.
Still a double.
Just making sure it's one motion. Go ahead, Niels.
Has there been any discussion on how the officials are gonna navigate, like, the two-handed wipes that we've been teaching now for the last 3 years?
Funny.
4 years, whatever, and then the potential where if the ball doesn't go over the net and I wipe it and it stays on my side, that's not because I can't throw it off there without being a double. That would be impossible.
I love that you said that.
And Sarah's got a script given to her by
Nice.
USA.
I love that you said
Thank
that.
you.
I love that you said that, cause this is very common in boys. Now, it's a very fast play, right?
Yes.
And so we've talked about this at our USA ref chair meetings and how we're gonna navigate that. That it's going to be tricky, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to explain what a double contact is, okay? And they have to use their best judgment on that. But if it never goes across the net, then we're teaching them and educating them to take a minute, whistle, take a minute, and make that decision, okay? If they're not sure about it, then we need to educate them a little bit more on that. It's become that play has become more and more common. But we're still kind of trying to figure out the actual verbiage to it.
I will tell you this,
Oh, no.
Hang on, I stepped in.
Yeah, because I.
Okay. She did that to me about all morning, so. Wheels, in the rules for game commission that I do sit on, alright, for those who did not know, was one of the 9 people who voted on these rules back in February. The next thing that is on our agenda to talk about this February and vote on next February 27 is the two-handed, how long is it allowed to stay in the attacker's hand? And then girls love this one, it's the running a gap or a 31 or a red, whatever you call it, and they're like, ooh, ah, you know, like how long are they allowed to King Kong that ball? Okay, those are the 2 biggest things at the highest level that are my agenda and my email discussions have been talking about, because it's getting out of hand.
It's getting messy, so we are told to, I'm bridging the gap here, we're told to do what we can while that's being decided without saying that, what he just said. So, because we have until a whole season, is we're trying to educate on them, we're trying to educate on what's what with video clips of different scenarios at our ref meetings. However, it's not gonna be perfect until it's discussed a little bit more. So we're trying to explain what a carry is, we're trying to explain things like that so they can decipher, especially with the girls pushing down and with the boys on the double contact, pushing off a block, on where it lands and where you see and where to look, where to put their eyes during that contact. So we're doing the best we can while we bridge the gap for that.
And then also training them to be consistent with it. If you let it go the first one, let it go the rest of the match.
Yeah, so we try to educate them even with like, does it change direction? Is there a stoppage at the start of the ball? Like things like that. So we're trying to help them. It's gonna be, it's, you know, we're gonna teach them a lot, hopefully, and get through whatever decisions made by the commission. Thanks for bringing